Just another one to add to the list. Hey, boys. There you go, buddy. You can join your brothers. Nice and slowly. Nice. Hey everyone, my name is Bottletophornet and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. These Endermen just do not stop coming. They are everywhere. How many do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm pretty sure I've got another one outside ready to go as well. All the way through here. Ouch. Oh my goodness. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. This episode we're going to go into the Nether and do our Nether hub. Sort of get it started. I've been gathering some resources off camera just to make sure that I was ready to go because I want to jump into it pretty quickly. Just need to get through a couple of things first. So I grabbed a bunch of blackstone and basalt and a few other resources like this crimson stem. Some fire resistance potions because I don't want to burn in the Nether again. And then I have all of this TNT. So at the end of the episode, or after we finished our Nether hub, which shouldn't take too long, for you guys anyway, we're going to see how much ancient debris we can get with an entire shulker box full of TNT. So that should be a bit of fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this Nether hub comes together. I have a few ideas, but I haven't really been in there and checked it out. So you guys are going to experience it as I do. There's just one thing that I need to do first. Much better. So let's go over and check out our Nether portal, which I decided to clean up a little bit because I was sick of the way that it looked. And I've added a little bit of grass down there so that it looks a bit nicer and fixed up my landing pad over here. So coming in and out of it is a lot smoother than before. I can just walk down there and we're good to go. And the same here, walk straight through and out again. So I'm a bit happier with that, a lot cleaner. And now it's time to just jump on in and get started on our Nether hub. And with this build, I really didn't have much of a plan as far as shape or anything, but I do like to work with circles every now and again. Now, I wasn't really trying to follow the same sort of build style as I have in the overworld, because I like the idea of changing up the way I build in each separate realm. So if I ever do some builds in the end dimension, I'm going to try and do something different there again. I had the idea of setting this up almost like a compass, as this will be our central access point to the Nether, and I can go out in those directions and use this as my way to align where I am and work out where I want to go. So I do know one of those angles points towards my end portal. So that's sort of the idea behind that. Now, I don't know whether you'd call it almost Star Wars inspired. You'll see in a little bit as it starts to come together. But I do want to get myself a lodestone and set this up as a point that I can use a compass to find again in the Nether. I really like the idea that we have this huge lava lake sitting out here, and the lake is entirely inside a Nether waste biome. So that means that I can put my gold farm above this area or this lake out here. And I don't actually have to AFK as high above to make sure that I don't get spawns. So that's a plus. Hopefully that works out okay. But what you're seeing here isn't necessarily the finished product. I didn't add too many details. I just wanted to get the main structure sorted so that I could get together and be safe in my Nether. And then I can move out and add more details in a second. So don't worry. This isn't the entirety of my Nether hub. This is just step one. So this is sort of the central area of my nether hub. And I did change up this area, this spot in the middle a little bit, because what I want to do is place a barrel in the center here that might have, say, leftover or spare potions for fire resistance, so that when I come out into this area I can make sure that I have one available in case I'm doing something risky over the lava. Now I'm going to fly away and show you guys what it looks like hanging from the edge of this cliff, because I think it's pretty cool. It's going to look a lot more detailed and interesting as we add more bits and pieces to it and walkways coming out of it, but I like that it's just this little disc hanging off the side of this cliff here. And this is where I was talking about this lake. Look how large it is and how much space we have. And other than like tiny little overhangs like this, I can clear that out, and most of this area isn't going to be spawnable space for mobs, which means that I don't necessarily have to AFK or be right up at the build height to be able to have a functioning gold farm. I do have an idea of having bridges coming out of this nether hub, and across this lava lake in the center here I want to have an island of sorts, like a floating island, where I can build up a piglin trading hall. And maybe, I don't know yet because it could be a lot of effort, I would like to make a massive hole in the bedrock and actually drop the piglins from my gold farm down into the inside of the nether here onto the roof of whatever build I have for the piglins. And so all my gold is actually stored and dropped through the top of the nether, stored into my piglin trading hall. So yeah, it's pretty ambitious. And I have done, you know, bedrock breaking before, but making a hole that large is kind of insane. So we'll see. See that spot up there? It's little places like that that we would just need to make sure are either spawn-proofed or removed entirely. Like this area here, we put buttons and spawn-proof that. That's a really weird generation of land. Things like this we can chop up and get rid of as well. So for now, I'm going to add a little bit of detail onto this. And then I think one of the things that I want to do is possibly take down a good chunk of this nether fortress here. Maybe that whole wing and this section here as well. So that I have a bunch of this stuff, what do you call it? Nether bricks to create my walkways out of. But one thing that I do want to do is put a place where I will have my lodestone. And like I said in my time lapse, this was definitely slightly inspired by Star Wars, those sort of futuristic disc-shaped buildings. So one of the things that I want to do is add an antenna on top of this where I can hide the lodestone once I make it, and that will be sort of our central radio tower that brings us back to this point in this realm. So I did fiddle around with a little bit of a design, and if I just chuck this together here, we end up with something that looks like this. Maybe not final. I've got the right idea though, I think. I don't know whether that's sort of like a placeholder for the lodestone. Then I might hide that in a bit more of a structure that looks a little bit more significant. But I really like the idea of this this glowing beacon that is visible as we move towards this central hub. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I might even add another one or two. If I decide that it needs a little bit more detail, I can add a couple more on these other sides as well. Maybe even with a slightly different look. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So since we just did a time lapse, I'm not going to waste any more of the episode with another one of me taking this down. I'm going to rip down as much of this as I can and gather up the resources, and then we'll pop back in and start working on my walkways, my bridges of sorts. So get a good look at that section of the Nether Fortress there, because it's the last time we're going to see it in this Let's Play, and we can start to create some interesting looking stuff coming out of this main Nether hub. Okay, so that's about an hour and a half work just there to get rid of that thing, and you can see where it used to be all the way up to that point there. Now what I want to do is, if you have a look at this, I got a fair bit of materials from that, and I also went and gathered a bunch of soul soil, because what I want to do with my my bridges across here is actually create it out of soul soil, and then put half slabs of nether bricks on top of it, so that when we eventually add our, what's it called? Soul Strider 3 to our boots, we can actually run along these bridges super fast. So that's the plan there. But one of the first things that I want to do before I get onto constructing these bridges is just ground this into the landscape a little bit more. Because when I was sitting over here doing all this digging, I kept looking at it and I realized that it just looks like it's a little bit too floaty. There's a willow skeleton. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's actually coming up. Hello, friend. Alright. What's the chances that you... Oh, goodness. Goodness. Okay. Anyway, distractions aside, it just looks, not from this angle, but from a bit lower, it looks like it's floating a bit much in the, on the edge of that cliff. And I want to add like some diagonal supports down from key points on that, so that it looks like it's actually built into this cliff face a little bit better. Because yeah, especially when you're underneath here, you can definitely see that it looks like it's a little bit too far out for physics to let that happen. So I'm going to try and add a little bit of structure to it, make it look like it's a little bit more sound and holding onto that cliff a bit better. And then I'll go ahead and start roughly planning out my bridges and finding a spot around the center of this lake where I want to start building myself that island I was talking about to put my piglin trading hall on top of. But I suppose what I can do actually, before anything else, is I did get a Soul Speed 3 book. I honestly have no idea where from, but I've had it in that chest for so long, so I may as well just put it straight onto these boots before I start building those bridges. So let's just do that. Perfect. Cost 27 levels. Wow. And we can chuck those back on. So those boots are pretty much fully decked out now. Like, there's nothing more that I need to add on to that as far as extra enchantments. I don't think I even could get another enchantment on there. So they're good to go. And now I'll just do a little bit of work getting that nether hub a little bit more grounded in reality as far as it can be in this situation. And then we'll pop back in and I'll talk to you about the bridges. Okay. So let's see if we can start working this out. I got this little bit started down here, and now I have a few of the resources that I want to start making this bridge. Oh, that felt weird, made me bounce because of the speed that I have with this new enchantment. But thanks to the enchantment, that actually means that I can make this bridge super fast. So I'm just gonna start making it out. I already started it just without even thinking about it. I'm going to pop out this direction, and I'm sort of going to aim for about probably where that strider is actually. That looks close to the center. So if we pop out this direction, like so, a little bit further. Basically what I want to do is reach a point where I am as central to any point that something could spawn on, or I suppose I should say as far away from any point that something could spawn on, so that the smallest amount of mob proofing is required up high on little shelves and stuff that can be found around the roof of the Nether. And that way I get the best chance of being able to make something nice looking as well as extremely functional. And now I'm going to go out this direction here until I feel like it's a good spot. Trying to eyeball the direction as best as I can. I'm sort of aiming for around this position here-ish. So let's go out there. So once I get the... Wow, you really do run fast with the soul speed on. That is incredible. And now my last thing that I want to do is aim for that shelf over there, because when I want to access the double blaze spawner that I have over in that fortress over there, as well as potentially set up some form of wither skeleton farm, at least a very basic one that can get me some extra skulls, I want to be able to pop right across on this bridge here and get over there. Even though most of the time, technically I'll be flying. Like, the reality of half the things that I'm going to build is they are potentially just aesthetic. They're not necessarily to be used at all times, But the fact that the function will be there and having this soul sand in there for the speed, it means that if I don't want to waste rockets or I don't want to use up durability on my elytra, it should be safe enough for me to run across these bridges without, you know, being hit by ghasts or anything, because I've been moving fast as anything. And I like the idea of having a visual representation of the positions of all of our stuff. So if I just go a little bit further. Hello? Oh, mate. Are you okay? Oh. What? What is going on? You okay? Oh, I have the weirdest things happen on this Let's Play, I swear. Okay, so... Reset. So... I'm just going to leave that there because I don't know whether I want to make like a landing platform. Maybe make another similar looking thing to this, but just without the roof in this area here. But for now, let's just... Oh, look at how fast you move. That's great. Let's pop across and we'll add the extra? I said that weird. We'll add the extra layers of stuff. Oh, wow, of course, these guys hit me. I personally don't like wearing gold because I'd prefer to have the extra protection over not being hit by stuff, especially if I get caught by a ghast or something I don't know is on its way or shooting at me. That's why I personally don't wear gold in this situation anyway. There might be some situations where wearing gold is beneficial. So I'm going to widen this to 3 wide all the way out there, and then we'll work on setting it up so that it actually looks better than just some soul sand sitting over the middle of a lava lake. And it's going to be a long, arduous... You guys are already causing me problems by spawning on this space. I need to get it spawn-proofed as quick as possible. It's going to be a long, slow journey of trying to set this up so that it looks more like a bridge rather than just a slab of soul sand in the middle of it. And I have this idea. I'll actually just build this first section here rather than the whole thing as one. Oh, I don't want to fall off there, because I had the idea of, at first I thought, oh, I need to try and make it go into the lava. I need to build some pillars for it to be supported on top of. But then I thought, rather than risking going down to the lava, why don't I aim for the roof? So I've got all these chains here, and I'm actually going to suspend... Oh, we have to be careful. I'm going to suspend this bridge, or these bridges, from the nether roof. So, hopefully it looks okay. I'm going to see whether or not the chains look ridiculous just hanging there, because they're quite thin, but we'll see what happens. So, at first, I put those upside down there, and we can put these half slabs on top of this soul sand. And as far as I'm aware, yeah, you still get the speed boost for the soul sand without having to actually walk on it, and it has the added benefit of making the walkway part of... Oh, please leave. The walkway part of the bridge actually being spawn proof. So I'll pop this on here. And now, because I'm a little OCD when it comes to this stuff, I'm going to just work out the correct distances for about halfway between. Maybe split into thirds. Oh god, I should think about what I'm doing before I do it. So give me a second and I will work out where I want to start these chains, and we'll go over how I want to set that up. And honestly, the easiest way for me to actually work it out was to build it up a little bit more. So as you can see, this is sort of the base. Oh wow, that did not appear for ages. Come on, let's see if we can hit him. Ouch. Come on. Yeah, I'm not good enough. So this is sort of the idea that I wanted to build the the whole thing up. So it's an upside down stair and a right side up stair, like so. And then that sort of gives me this very faint barrier that's obviously not large enough to actually stop you from moving across it. But it does give the shape that I want for indicating that this is a walkway. So with that, I'll grab out a couple of the other stuff, the other bits and pieces that I had for this. And what I want to do is set this up almost like a cradle, if I can. We'll see how it goes. So I'll start by popping those into the corners there. And if we do that like that, I'm going to have to see whether I can get underneath it. So some interesting flying skill is going to be implemented here, because what I want to do is see if I can, like that. I'm going to use up a lot of rockets doing this. And pop across and do much the same thing. Oh, well. That's a no. Let's try that one more time. Nope. Maybe. Actually, that might have worked in a weird way. Yeah, so I sort of got it in the position that I want the thing to go. Like so. And I'm going to see if I can loop that over to the other side so that we have like a cradle of fences coming across. Oh, this is taking so many rockets. I'm going to have to go back to the overworld and actually craft up a heap of them if I'm going to do this for all of these. Oh, I'm too low. Cue montage of me trying to get all of this in. One. Yes. Yeah. Oh, no. Ah. Oh, no, I double did it. Come on. Frustration. Wow, that was a horrible scream. Okay. Let's run across our little walkway again and place in that last piece. And now we should have... See that? So it's like a supporting cradle that I can use to hold up that section of the bridge, and I'll have those staggered across each section, you know, each length of the bridge, holding up those places. So now, with those in position after much terrible flying, I'll see whether I can pop up on top of here. That is so frustrating that you can't jump on top of those. So now what I want to do is get up to the roof. And with the chains, I can just jump up, continue to stack them on, and then I'm going to try and sort of build it into... I don't just want to hang the chain straight from the netherrack. I want to make it look like it's actually hanging from a support of some form. Wow, that really... being up this high really shows off the sides of this lava lake, because you can barely see any land on the other side as I raise up. So, okay. Now if we hold crouch and open this area up just a smidge, like so, what I want to do now is probably using these half slabs, like so. Create a little section like this. Lower that down there so it's a full block's worth. And then I think I'm one too high for this. Using a hopper, which I did in my base as well, it sort of creates this like nice structural looking section. I think I'm gonna have to destroy the chains and do it in reverse. Oh, actually, what I can do is just pop off the side like this, connect the chains, and we sweep back down. So you can almost hardly see the chain, but yeah, I mean, it looks a little weird, like it shouldn't be able to support that much weight, but at the same time, it kind of looks cool. Once I put another one on the other side and have bits like that hanging from the roof of the nether in many, many different places, you'll actually be able to see, by looking at the roof, the positioning of these bridges, you'll be able to look up as you're running across and tell, okay, there's a bridge that goes that way because it's all hanging above that section there. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'll pop this other one up that side, and I'll see if I can get the rest of these bridges built across to there and out to here with all the chains popped up to the roof, and we'll see what it looks like. And a lot of grindy, repetitive work later, there it is. Oh, surely not. The second I start recording. I'm pretty sure I didn't hit it, but it still disappeared. Anyway, so you can sort of see how I was saying what is above will show where the bridges are. And now that there's actually more chains, you definitely see them a lot easier than you did when it was just the one. So I'm not as worried about that anymore. And if we just pop out this direction, you sort of start to see this huge, it makes it look massive. Like it creates a far grander scale to these bridges than they would be just by themselves. Because it's like, even though it's just a couple of lines, it does increase it to the size of almost the entire height of this area. So as far as like functionality, the bridge is basically built. And I think at the end of this section here, I will probably connect the island that I make and sort of have this section almost like over there connecting onto it. So it doesn't necessarily need to have the chains on this part. I think I'll save that for next episode. I might build up the island and do a piglin trading hall and try and get the hole popped into the ceiling in my next episode. I think it'd be nice to continue this area rather than just leaving it half built. But we've sort of taken a lot of time getting this made up this episode, and I do still want to spend a little bit of time and use all that TNT to try and blow up as much of the nether as I can and get myself a bunch of ancient debris. So we'll leave it here for now and work on the island floating above this lava lake next episode, and we can finally put this TNT to use. So what I'm going to do is pop into a bit of a time lapse of sorts. I'll put some music on and we can decimate a section of the nether and try and get as much ancient debris as possible. Hopefully get ourselves enough, if not more than we need, so that we have some spare stuff. I also need just like a spare piece just for the lodestone that I want to put in that antenna. But over time, we can build this place up and this will be a nice little nether hub with our double blaze spawner and maybe a wither skeleton farm over there, a piglin trading hall just here, and then above the nether we can have our gold farm. So let's just pop into that time lapse and see how much ancient debris we can get. And after nearly 2 hours, we're back home. And what we have to show for our efforts? Look at all that ancient debris. Now, how much is this? If I divide it up... Whoa, okay. I don't actually have room for dividing it up, I don't think. Where's a double chest? I need a double chest. I think that is how many pieces of netherite we've got, which is what? 27 plus 9, 36 plus 5, 41 pieces. 41. Plus that means we have a total of 42 pieces of netherite, which is insane. That's heaps to get us the extra piece, the extra armor sets, as many tools as we want, because it only takes one per piece, so holy moly. So I'm going to smelt that up. It really makes me feel like I want my my super smelter set up already. I think what I'll actually do is grab some blast furnaces and just put them down here for now. We're definitely going to have to make ourselves a better smelting system soon. So go to sleep, let that smelt up, and we'll have a look at it and see whether we've even got enough gold. Oh my. We might not actually have enough gold to even turn it all into ingots, but at least we'll have the scrap sitting there. And once we have our gold farm up and running, that's never going to be a problem again. And honestly, with all that smelted up, I want to do this manually because there's something just so satisfying about this. 41 pieces of netherite ingots. Whew. How many blocks is that? 4.5, just over 4.5 blocks of netherite ingots. That is insane. Let's just, for the sake of it, look at that. Let's arrange that a little bit nicer. Oh, wait. Yes. Oh, that has got to be one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in Minecraft. I just wish now that I'd got enough to fill the entire double chest. But, I mean, that was exactly the one shulker box full of TNT got me 41 pieces of netherite ingots. So, I mean, that's not bad, and that's probably enough to keep us going for a very long time. I don't think I'll ever really make enough netherite stuff to have to warrant needing more than that. So the only reason I would get more is for bragging rights. But with that being said, I think I'm going to end the episode here. We'll continue on in the Nether in the next episode, and I want to build up that island and see whether I can maybe break a hole through the bedrock in the top of the Nether and prepare ourselves for a gold farm setup. So it's coming close to Christmas, and I'm going to try my best to get episodes out in a semi-scheduled way, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't bother you guys, and I really hope that you're looking after yourselves this holiday season and that you take care if you're in places where social distancing is required and everything. I really do hope that you're looking after yourselves and your family and that everyone's well. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it, comment. I'll be in the comments chatting with you all, seeing what you thought of the episode. And until next time, take care. See ya.